This is India, a country that is just as often loud, raucous, and wonderfully unpredictable as it is sublime. Home to 5 million street food carts, 10 million more chai stands, and 200 million horns. This is Marijuana Ronnie, former car salesman turned James Beard-nominated chef and restaurateur. This year he decided it was time to bring his Carolina boys to India. James Grogan, chef at Chai Pani Asheville and Indian neophyte. Daniel Peach, chef of Chai Pani Decatur and the Hindi-speaking veteran. And yours truly, Michael Files, tasked with filming these madmen as they hit 10 cities in 11 days. By planes, trains, and cycle rickshaws, eating everything in sight along the way. So sit back and enjoy the ride. This is Chai Pani's Cutting Chai.
So 5 days into our trip, we'd already hit Mumbai, Pune, Ahmednagar, back to Pune, hopped on a plane, went straight to New Delhi. So everybody knows that Delhi is the capital of India, but more importantly, it's one of the major street food capitals of India. So unlike Mumbai, which is sort of the modern face of India, corporate, financial, Delhi's a bit of a paradox, because you've got New Delhi that's modern and the capital, but then you've got Old Delhi, which is where the action really happens. You've got all these jewels of the Mughal Empire scattered all over the place, and then these tight alleys teeming with humanity. And in those alleyways, they're preserving the tradition of street food that goes back thousands of years. The only way to get around is by cycle rickshaw. So we all hopped in and went looking for Paratha Wali Gully. Paratha Wali Gully literally means the alley of the paratha walas, which is the stuffed bread, and it's famous in Delhi. So once you get there, you've got these storefronts, hundreds of them, all selling parathas, and we went wild.
Marijuana, how is it?
Amazing. It's like Indian shortbread.
This was so intense. We dove into this crazy mess of people and chaat walas. It was like the first time that I felt slightly overwhelmed in India. It was the most exciting time in India, I think. And it was like, I might have been overwhelmed, but I was having one of the best times.
This is the India that stresses the shit out of people. The sheer variety of vehicles and types and creatures and, just everything going on here. I mean, to live here, you have to go into a sort of perpetual state of ignorance. And not like, meaning ignoring everything around you. Because, what else do you do? We should get 2 plates split. This kachori. They make masala out of like dal and spices, and they stuff it in these really crispy like pastry stuff, and then it's served with chutney and potato sabzi. Depending on where you go, this filling will be different. You want something?
Yeah.
Spicy.
The kachori was amazing, but of course we had to check out one of the paratha shops that give this street its name. This was kind of like the quintessential paratha shop. The cool thing about that place was we walked through the kitchen to get to the dining room.
Right.
Because the guy's like cooking everything right. Like
Yeah, on the edge of the street, yeah. Yeah, I was sitting under a stairwell.
So this is a thali that goes with the parathas. So whatever we get, these are the different vegetables we'll be eating with it.
Banana chutney. This is potato and beans. This is custard apple sabzi, and this is potato and pepper.
So this is the radish.
And it was interesting because they call it paratha gully, but they weren't like any paratha I've ever had in India. They were kind of more hearty, tougher, but really damn good.
This is old school, There used to be 20 of these, he said. That's why it was called the alleyway. Now it's down to 4 or 5.
Having stuffed ourselves with kachori and parathas, it was time to move on.
So at this point, we'd already had 3 meals just in the afternoon, but we weren't done yet. It was time to go to Kareem Kebabs, which takes up an entire alleyway.
I think by that point, our stomachs had expanded.
This entire alleyway is this operation, but it's an alleyway. Bicycles and people and pedestrians are walking through, and the whole thing's still open.
It's like a functioning street and a functioning restaurant.
So it looks like they're winding down, but I'm sure you still got a few kebabs. Chill. What's special about these kebabs? Well, it's a very North Indian dish that's brought down by the Persian emperors when they first came to India. And if you're gonna get kebabs in India, you gotta go to North India. And if you're gonna get kebabs in North India, you gotta go to Kareem's Kebabs.
The kebabs were damn good.
talking about these kebabs and like just trying to figure out why they were so light,
Super tender.
flavorful, and just moist, like full of like moisture. One of the things is how thick the skewer is. It's a metal skewer. And when you see them making it, the kebabs just put on almost paper thin, and I think it just cooks practically instantaneously, inside and outside, without losing all that moisture, and I think without even getting a char on the outsides.
They got us beat on the kebabs for now.
You gotta be.
The naan was phenomenal too.
But it's pretty amazing because it was not like a traditional naan. It was not as light, kind of slightly more denser, a little bit chewier, but with a really nice texture and just a little bit sweeter. So the most eye-opening part of being at Kareem's was actually getting to watch them make the naan. Making naan in that tradition has been done in India for probably 3,000 years. Unleavened bread, hole in the ground, big fire. I mean, they've been making bread like this since the time of Christ. Even housewives in India still make rotis by hand the way they probably did when they first started making rotis thousands of years ago. So at Chai Pani Decatur, we haven't broken the tradition. We have Indian housewives, aunties we call them, making rotis by hand. And then what was funny in the way the whole thing got tied together, in the middle of us eating at Kareem's, Sridevi, one of the aunties, calls Daniel to check in on how his day's going. Hello! And she calls every day at 5:30 from Chai Pani Decatur to check on Daniel and give a full report, all the gossip, everything that's happening in the Chai Pani kitchen.
Delhi was definitely epic. The street food was amazing. The kebabs were badass. And you know, it was India at its messiest for sure, but also its most delicious. And we wouldn't have it any other way.